Chris Morgan.
Well,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sir,
having me.
Madam, your dance floor, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome to conversation with me.
Yes, thank you.
Aside all tight schedules, he still made it to this place. I learned that all through the night he was working on a particular stuff on the studio.
Yeah.
But he still found our time to come and be with us. So I count it a great
Thank
privilege.
you,
Once
sir.
again, you're welcome,
It's
sir.
an honor.
All right, sir. So my first question is this: I want us to take us down the memory lane for some minutes. Tell us what all this while, what had it been like in the music industry so far as gospel music is concerned? Because you know that you're a pillar there, you are a hero, you are an icon. All right, we want to hear one or two things from you that may serve as a kind of encouragement to a young man out there who want to pursue a career in gospel music. Thank you, sir.
Well, well, I would say it's been a long way coming, and it's not been easy. It's easy because of God. First, I want to say that I went through a lot of crucible of fire. I went through a lot. You know, first is a discovery of my purpose. I was age 10, you know, when I had an encounter with God. You know, I used to sell orange. You know, we started the college thing, you know, from JSS 1 to JSS 3. It was not easy. It was not easy. Even to pay for my wife was an issue. I had to go and farm for somebody. The person said he's going to sponsor me, you know, to write work. I should go and farm his big land, you know, to go on the red dust of to go Benue State. You know, so I went to farm the man's land. I think work then was 2,500.
Yes.
He said he's going to pay everything. I believed in him. I went to farm his land. My hands were filled with blood because of, you know, I was trying to meet up, you know, because my wife was already there. I was not able to pay. So suddenly I just got that work from him, went to clear his farmland and all of that. He still gave me money that is not up to pay my wife fee. I still went back to sell granite and orange just to raise money to pay my wife fee. But to cut the long story short, I finally sat on that in that year's work, wrote it by the grace of God, help from other quarters. You know, so from there I started you know, learning how to, you know, play guitar. You know, before then I already started learning how to play guitar and all of the keyboard thing, all of the music thing, you know, but then the singing thing was not really in view. I just know how to play all the instruments very well. You know, it was when I now went to Lagos at age 16, you know, that the singing thing started. I started discovering that I can sing. You know, I started discovering that so many things can happen. You know, that's how life started for me. You know, but still in Lagos, I went through a lot. You know, it was not an easy journey. So that's how. So that's how.
I think this is one of your music.
Yes.
All right, we are hearing you, sir.
Yeah, so that's how it all started for me. Discovery of purpose, and I started. It's been a long dream, a long way coming. It was not easy. Even in Lagos, I had to do house calls, you know, for people. I remember somebody employed me in Ikoyi. I was a gate man.
Yes, sir.
I was a music director. I was a gate man, and I was doing houseboy's job just to make ends meet. You know, until the defining moment where I got a song called Araba Ribitia Ribi Rabata Arubo Ojo. I ministered that song in Abeokuta. Somebody invited me, Bishop Achidume. I ministered then. Matthew Ashimolo saw me and invited me to London. That was this change of story for me.
Wow. I'm sorry to cut you short. That means that the background notwithstanding,
Oh, yes.
the background notwithstanding
Oh, yes.
could not stop you.
Oh yes,
And that means that you that is out there listening, it's not a matter of where you're coming from, it's not a matter of color, it's not a matter of race, it's a function of what you have in the inside of you, being able to discover people. That is the first launching part. Now, but sir, there is something that young upcoming artists complain so much of these days. You find out that the system is already saturated. The system is already saturated. I can say that there are 1,100 artists out there. Before you even be invited to come and minister in the church, just like you had that privilege, you said Bishop invited, and from there you went to London and all of that. Can you just help us? What can someone do, or what can serve as a kind of strategy in a contemporary society that can help someone easily get, if I can borrow that word, easily get to the top?
Okay, I would like to say that the journey of destiny must start from somewhere.
Okay.
Every tree that must grow has a root downwards before it shoots upwards.
Okay.
So every destiny that must make it you must observe all the principles of life.
Yes.
Life, the nature of life is patience.
Yes,
You know, and we must adopt patience.
Yes,
You know, and through patience, I want to tell the youth today. The youths are so in a hurry. Everybody want to rush to get to the top. But you can't have a history of a great impact and exploit without the story of little beginning.
Yeah, exactly,
You must begin
exactly.
from wherever you are.
Yeah.
The Bible says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it diligently with all of your heart.
Yes, sir.
Then from there you begin to move up in the ranks of God's assignment for your life. Everybody has an assignment, and the sky is very big.
Yes, sir.
No matter the thousands of musicians, the thousands of every other person doing what you're doing,
Yes, sir.
the sky is still very big. That's how God has created life to
Yes,
be.
sir.
The sky is mighty to contain everybody. So as far as you follow God and you follow all the protocols, the principles of life in truth and integrity,
Yes, sir.
and you continue to follow God in patience, and what you are doing is sincere, and you have discovered your originality,
Yes, sir.
continue in that lane without, by all means necessary, don't compromise.
Yeah.
And by all means necessary, do things right.
Exactly.
You know, as you continue in that, you begin to grow in the ranks of God's assignment for your life.
Exactly.
And gradually, you move from ladder 1, step 2. Gradually, there's no diminishing terms with God.
Yes,
It's
sir.
from glory to glory.
Oh,
So if people
wonderful.
root their life down in God, understand that they cannot help themselves.
Exactly.
Every help comes from God. Discover who you are and begin to work towards it. And don't be a lazy person. Just be hardworking. By all means, God will make sure that you prosper. I'm telling you.
I just picked a keyword. I just picked a keyword. You that is listening out there, I surely believe that you're taking down notes, you're putting down things that can help you in your own career. So I picked a word. You say something about originality.
Yes,
I just picked that word. Can you expatiate more on originality?
Okay. Originality. You know, anything that is fake
Yes.
is not original. You know, some people want to be what God has not made them. Some people want to be what they are not called to do. Some people want to imitate others. No, discover who you are. You know, in the discovery of who you are is that originality. That you are original, just like my face is not the same with yours.
Exactly.
This is the original face that came with me.
Exactly.
This is your own original face.
Exactly.
The same way God has given everybody's assignment. Discover your own assignment. Discover your own purpose. Your own purpose is original. You are peculiar. Nobody can fill your space. Only you can achieve what God has called you to achieve in your space. We may be singers, but we're not singers alike. We're not the same.
Yes, sir.
You know, I may know how to sing and all of that. Other people who know how to sing, God has called them uniquely in their own way.
Yes, sir.
You know, you can decide to sing Amazing Grace. People will be laughing,
Yes.
and they will be fulfilled
Yes.
and filled with joy.
Yes.
And we decide to sing the same Amazing Grace.
Okay.
Some people will be crying. God will touch them in their own way.
Okay.
You know, so we are all unique in
Yeah,
different
exactly.
ways.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that originality is actually from the place of true fulfillment is that originality.
Wow.
Originality is whatever is real.
Yes.
It's not fake. It's sincere. You are your sincere self.
Yes.
You know, you are not faking anything. You are just real. Just the way God has made you. You are not covering. You are not masked with something different.
It's true. Thank you very much. Now, you that is listening, you heard what he said. Originality really matters a lot. Your uniqueness, the real person that you are. Don't try copying people. Try to be original. Try to be original, especially in this period where we can say that the system is saturated. Once you are original and you're pursuing that exact thing that God has placed in you, there is no limit. There is no limit at all that you cannot break. And as a matter of fact, he also said that there are a lot of space at the top. There is a lot of space at the top. Once you get to the top, you see yourself going from one level to another. Now, I want to still throw some questions to him. I know that you have some peculiar challenges. You that is listening to me, pursuing a career in the music industry. I want to still ask him some of the challenges he faced as a person. Now, from his own experiences and the things he'll be saying, I believe that you will learn something. So, sir, I know that challenges are real.
Yes.
Challenges are real,
Really.
exactly. So, can you at least kind of tell us one or two things that you faced as a challenge so far as gospel music? Because in Nigeria we have secular music, we still have part of gospel music. Can you just tell us one or two things that you faced as a challenge in the industry?
Okay, one thing is after understanding your purpose and whatever God has called you to do to impact and influence life, generally the challenges are all things that are, you know, the same with everybody everywhere. You know, the challenges of relevance, trying to be relevant in your generation, trying to make you know, get money to fix one thing or the other, album, all kinds of things. You know, there's a level you sort for those things, you know, and there's also a level you come to that you become a helper, a channel to other people. But before you become a channel of help to other people, for example, when I started, it wasn't easy. I had to trek in Ibadan before I recorded my first Arabaribiti project. I trekked in Ibadan from Challenge to Felele, from Felele to, you know,
just to make things
just to make things happen. You know, I went to meet one producer there. I didn't have money then. He said, "Okay, any small money you have, just bring."
And
that's how we started the production. Yes, I was not discouraged. You know, because already that purpose was already known and rooted down inside of me. That passion was there. Passion was there. So that passion keeps you going no matter what happens, because you can see the end. You know, you can see the end that it's going to get better. So you are not worried. Although the worries are there, but you keep encouraging yourself in the Lord, encouraging yourself, especially this area that you're called to, because you know that the challenges are there. So I went through all of that. You know, I went through all of that. I also went through, you know, times where, you know, you have to, you know, work for people to, you know, win their favor, and it's not just coming, and you have to just depend on God. You know, so throughout everything that you know I went through, you know, it pointed me back to look up to God. You know, it pointed me back to look up to God. And when you look up to God, the journey is short.